Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell at before you blow up a plane.
Basha K. Ali!
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what good thing to say? I doubt it will stand up to something. I haven't been disrespectful to you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt. I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean. Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, lurkers, people of the chat. Welcome to the Chrissie Mayr Podcast. You can listen to this show. Gosh, we're everywhere. Spotify, SoundCloud, Rumble, Rockfin, Facebook even, Twitch, Twitter. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. I got a couple of shows coming up. I hope to see you at one of them. Ooh, this weekend, I will be back on the road again. I'll be in Indiana this Saturday, the 29th at Fort Wayne Comedy Club. Come check it out. I'm very excited to. I haven't been to Indiana since I was but a girl. I was 14 years old. I went to a diving camp there, and they threw me off the 10-meter platform my first day. It was very exciting. I'm sure this show will be equally exciting. And then come see me April 1st in Hartford, Connecticut at the Hartford Funny Bone with Jimmy Dore. May 17th, I'll be at Jazz on Main in Mount Kisco. That's up here in Westchester in my neck of the woods. August 8th and 9th, I'll be at the Brokerage in Long Island. That's where I'm from. So high school people, I better see you there. And then October 18th, Ohio. The tropical land of Ohio. I'll be at Krackpots Comedy Club in Massillon. I think it's near Canton. Get tickets at my website, chrissiemayr.com. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. Yeah, I was in LA last week doing Adam Carolla's show, Sam Tripoli's show, Jamie Kennedy's show, Dick Masterson and Vito's show. So, getting out here and there more. And it's fun sloshing breast milk through the airport because I'm still pumping and nursing. I'm sure that's not why you guys came here to hear about that, but I will talk about it from time to time. Okay. Very, very excited to have this gal on the show today. She works with my dear friend, Elijah Schaefer. She is a contributor to Slightly Offensive. She's a journalist. You may have seen her recently having viral moments on the hit show Jubilee. I don't know. I don't really write my intros down, but maybe I should. Welcome to the show. We're here to talk about important white people issues. Welcome to the show, Sarah Stock.
Yay. I'm so happy to be here. And yeah, we have a lot of white issues to talk about today. I didn't know that was going to be the name of the main topic, but I'm here for it.
The first thing, this is what I did to Sarah to show, this is me trying to impress her. I said, look, I have one of these too. Because she has all these, I did in high school, you know, they have like AP classes, advanced placement, but they also have like, at the high school I went to, it was called like IB, which is International Baccalaureate. And you could like get an IB diploma. I don't know. I haven't heard anybody else who's done this. Who knows if it's even a real thing, but for the IB diploma, you have to write a big old like 4,000 word essay. And for some reason I chose Christian iconography for mine.
Really?
So, yeah, like really.
Was that one of your study tools?
Imagine this was my paperweight. No, a fan sent this to me when I was pregnant.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I was like, and this is exactly what we look like when I hold the bean. And I put except this is me with a sheet over my head when I'm trying to get him to take a nap. Because I haven't sleep trained him. And so I just have to hold him till he passes out. It's fun. Hi Sarah. Oh my gosh. It's so good to see you. I like you already. You're not afraid to make waves. You're smart. You are not a typical young person. In that you are not like you don't strike me as someone who's easily meldable. I don't feel like you've come from like a liberal brainwash type university setting.
Not at all.
Tell me a little bit about your background and how you sort of came to be an online person.
Um, well, I mean, I guess if we're gonna talk about like background, I'm from Canada originally,
Ooh,
and I was homeschooled. So that's like the backstory to me not being liberal brainwashed. I'll just say that.
wow. So
So that,
your parents were smart and
yeah,
they were like they had the patience to homeschool you.
yeah. I don't know how they got that patience, but that's where the independent thinking comes from. Um, and then, yeah, fresh out of high school, I was just doing some freelance article writing and I started a job with Rebel News, which is a Canadian based news outlet. They do some work in other countries too. And then I worked with them. Did some work with the Babylon Bee. I run a Turning Point chapter I started on my campus. And then, yeah, I stopped work with Rebel News in December and I started working with Elijah Schaefer from Slightly Offensive. And it's great because I can just write about whatever I want, really, and totally free to write about anything I want, any topics I want, any opinions I want to share. And yeah,
How did Elijah find you?
just through a friend, really, a mutual friend. I'll just say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Elijah's great. I will always feel like a loyalty to Elijah because he is the first person at the Blaze. When he was working at the Blaze, he was the first person to have me come on and had me on his show a whole bunch. And we met, I think, for the first time maybe at January 6th or maybe one of the other rallies or something, but always like very kind and cool to me when he like didn't have to be. I always think like people who are doing better than me like don't have to be nice to me. Like people you I don't know. I equate like success. I don't know. I think I'm always surprised when people are give me a shot and are friendly to me. But Elijah's always been super cool. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
he's a good
he's like a real guy. I feel like there's a lot of people. It's like weird. I go to a lot of Turning Point conferences and it feels like it's all like clout chasers there
hmm.
sometimes. And so people are like either trying to get something from you or they're like trying to like flex things on you.
Why does it
And it's
feel
like
that way?
weird.
Like what specific things have you seen that make you go like, oh, okay, is that why we're here?
I don't know, just like everyone constantly name dropping people or like just like bragging. It's like a young person thing for sure.
Yeah.
When they're
Right,
like
because
trying to like climb to the top.
you're not
Yeah.
established yet yourself, so
Yeah,
you
exactly.
wanna
But
throw
yeah.
around your
And then I feel
relationship.
like when like you meet actual successful people, I feel like most of the time they don't do that because they don't need to prove anything. And then a lot of times, like those people, I found them to be more real anyway, like more authentic. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
everyone, but
and sometimes those people also have, like, imposter syndrome, so that in their
yeah.
minds, they don't feel like they're a success yet, um, so yeah, and it's always good to be humble, for sure. Yeah, so you're doing the Turning Point. Yeah, I've been to one Turning Point event, it was pretty cool. I haven't been to so many where I, like, can pick up and make observations yet, but,
Mhm.
it does seem like, it's an industry where there's a lot of money and there's a lot of probably competition, for, to be picked for like a representative of this or that cause. And I'm sure if you're single too, it's like definitely a lot of canoodling going on at
That's
these
true.
things. Um,
Yeah. I
yeah.
think a big part of it is like, young people trying to get into politics, it's pretty competitive. And a lot of people, join Turning Point or college Republicans or whatever because they want to get an internship in Washington, D.C., and they want to become a staffer and like work themselves up the establishment and everything. So there's just like a lot of competition there, and everyone's like trying to do the same thing, really. So that's kind of where it
Uh,
comes from.
I would work in Detroit before Washington, D.C. It's just the most gray, like blah. feels like a soulless place to live. It's just like every time I've been there, it's like a real bummer. I don't know why. It's just the energy. Okay, so let's fast forward to here is you at this Jubilee thing, which I find very cool. I'm gonna play just a little clippet of you. This to me seems like a very intimidating situation. You're there's Sam Seder here, who is, I believe he was a contributor for MSNBC. He's like I think he's actor, director, journalist. He's
he's a commentator for the Majority Report. That's his show.
That's his show. And how, like, on a scale from like 1 to foaming at the mouth, like how liberal is he?
Oh, I mean, he's pretty progressive. I wouldn't say he's like a full-on like democratic socialist leftist. Like I wouldn't say he's like quite that far, but I would say he's pretty far left. He's like a progressive Democrat.
Okay, cool. And so there's 20 of you, all like kind of like younger conservatives coming up, and like the format works. It's like you have to it's like musical chairs, sort of. You have to like run to the chair, state your case, and then so here was your moment. And were you piggybacking off of this question here? Unless you're a billionaire or a religious fundamentalist or a xenophobic nationalist, voting for Trump was a mistake.
Yeah, that's why I used that term. I didn't come up with it. He did. So
okay.
And that's not discrimination. It's based on your knowledge, not what you sleep with, not who you sleep with. Just saying.
Oh, okay. Was he the token gay?
Yes, we had a few.
I see so many of these Jubilee things. Are there people who like pretend to run to the seat, but they like don't actually run that fast because they don't actually want to get the seat?
Well, I don't know if I'm like technically allowed to say this, but I think they were having too many people like actually like clash getting to the seats that they had to like kind of like choose people beforehand, then we would fake it.
Okay, that I actually like hearing that a lot better.
I think people are confused by
because
that.
I see some people with a half-assed jog, and I go, "You're not really trying to get there," but they're trying to avoid like a collision. So
yeah,
that makes more sense.
Hi,
Sam.
So I actually think that this liberal world order needs to be thrown away completely, and I think Christian nationalism would be a good alternative. What we're seeing right now is just
congratulations.
And thank you. And I think what we're seeing right now is a culture of death. This is the most suicidal generation ever. We have millions of children dying by abortion. People aren't even.
And what does it mean when somebody throws up a flag?
So the other conservatives, they all have these flags, and once the majority of people have their flags raised, then you have to go off. And someone else debate.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So they're already like voting me off just because I started.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Come on, you're the best looking one there. They should give you the most time.
Reproducing. We don't even have like a.
Should we mandate people reproduce?
No, I don't think we need to mandate. We can just stop them from killing their kids.
You want to outlaw abortion?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, we have a fundamental disagreement on this. And my claim was that if you voted for Trump, it would be to your benefit if you want to outlaw abortion.
I think it would benefit everyone.
Yeah, I disagree. I think that women should have the right to choose.
I think that it would benefit everyone to bring back the family.
It used to be pro-choice, but I found nearly every passionate pro-choice person, you let them talk long enough, they're actually pro-abortion, which really sickens me. And like, it's probably me getting older. It's probably me having a kid myself, but I lean more and more and it's when there's unlimited, you can times to escape accountability. A certain type of woman will just get multiple abortions. It's really sad. It takes a toll on your soul. And oftentimes, like later on, if you actually wake up and want to have a kid, like sometimes you can't because that stuff can like really damage you down there.
Yeah, so I have on my sweater, it says babies are precious. It's a live action merch.
Yeah, and not even to mention like, you are murdering somebody. babies are really the best, and they don't deserve it.
Mhm.
They don't deserve it.
family unit to stop having women just thrown into the workforce.
Maybe we shouldn't allow women to choose to divorce unless their husbands say it's okay.
I mean, I don't really believe in divorce in general, so like, sure.
I mean, this
It seems like he's trying to trap you, and you're just like,
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to give me like a gotcha, like, oh, so you believe this? And I'm like, yeah.
catch you saying something embarrassing.
I came out the gate and said I'm a Christian nationalist. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
why are you acting like you're gonna trap me into saying anything?
You're like, yes, I agree.
I think, though, reinforces my point that that if you are
But it would be better for society. It would be better for everybody in society. And same with xenophobic like, what's the problem with xenophobic nationalism? Do you think that's better for Americans in general?
Like xenophobic nationalism is better.
We should have a coherent culture. Everyone should be a part of the same culture. We should have assimilation.
Which, do you get to choose what the culture is?
We already have a dominant culture.
What is
based
the dominant
on
culture?
European and Christian values and identity. That is the dominant culture.
White Christian,
it's rooted in European identity.
White. So your argument is
that has been the dominant culture.
Just to be
and
clear,
we're not letting people assimilate to that. We're saying you should keep your culture, and this is why our culture.
Yeah, people used to assimilate. Our parents, when they all came to this country, that my dad wouldn't even speak German. He didn't even teach us a word of German because the idea was like, duh, you drop your own culture. I mean, like, Germans are squirrely about their culture for obvious reasons. They shouldn't be. I feel like a lot of them get very much shamed about the whole Holocaust thing, even though like wasn't everybody involved dead at this point, but they still carry so much shame about it. And the point is that generation, the boomers, like they all very much hid where they came from. It was important to them to get work, to assimilate. Yeah, sure, they would move into neighborhoods with people similar to them, like everybody always does.
I mean, you never see people hyphenate like, oh, I'm a German American.
Right?
Like I've never met anyone who did that. Like people say like, oh, I'm an Asian American or a Mexican American.
No, it's
they're kind of like
there's no scholarships for German Americans.
Yeah.
So.
Like when they do that, they're kind of saying there's something about them that's like distinctly different from like your average American. And that's my whole point, is like your average American is a white Christian. So that is the dominant culture. That doesn't mean like we don't have subcultures, like obviously.
Yeah.
But you're kind of supposed to try to blend in. And even, I mean, a lot of people were being like, oh, well, what about like the Irish and Italian Catholics? And it's like, well, yeah, they had their problems assimilating too back in the day. But
people
eventually,
made the attempt.
And like eventually, I mean, if I meet like just like an average like white person in the grocery store, I'm not usually able to look at them and guess that they're like an Italian Catholic or a Anglo Protestant, because we kind of all adopted like the same culture, right?
Right.
And we all kind of all mixed together.
Yeah, that was the point.
You're so divided.
Your argument is that Trump is good for those who want a dominant white European culture.
I mean, that is what America is. It's rooted in European identity and Christian values. That's what it has been. Would you really disagree with that? What is it then, if that's not the identity of America?
Well, I think the identity of America...
For the majority of time, America's been a country. You don't think that's been the identity?
Well, actually, no. I think actually the identity of America has been, for better or for worse, a melting pot in that regard.
Yeah, but the base was Europeans. Those were the first large groups to migrate here. Yeah. It's like, yeah, of course, thanks to the Biden administration, we've got millions and millions of Venezuelan, Haitian, whoever the fuck wanted to come in.
Like he's trying to pretend like he's trying to erase like hundreds of years of history and pretend that this whole idea of multiculturalism that we have as of like 10 seconds ago is suddenly what defines us as Americans. And it's like, no, I'm pretty sure we existed as a country before we were like invaded.
I think people confuse like the world's white population with what America was kind of supposed to be founded on, right? Because a lot of people say, oh, white people we're the minority now. But but you forget. Yeah, I guess it was prior to the 60s. When did my dad? Yeah, when did he come here? Probably 50s. He came to this country. So, yeah. All right, back to the clip.
Yeah, maybe since like the 1960s. Even then, like even we had this idea of a melting pot literally means assimilation too. It means melting. It means you're assimilating to the dominant culture. Is that not what melting means?
No, it doesn't
and
mean
now
that
instead we're saying there's something
to
wrong
the
with xenophobia.
dominant culture. No, I mean, look, I got to be honest with you. Like, you and I have a fundamental disagreement. We will never see eye to eye on this. It's a choice. And people, I think what you're expressing, though, is really what the Trump movement at its heart is about. And I think that's problematic.
I disagree. I don't think Trump's like anywhere close to being a Christian nationalist. That's ridiculous. Like Trump's basically a Democrat from like 15 years ago when it comes to social issues.
So you don't think that he's conservative enough for you?
Oh, definitely. Nowhere close. No.
He's not xenophobic enough for you?
No, he's trying to pour a bunch of H-1Bs. Are you kidding?
Right.
I love that you embrace everything he intends to throw at you as an insult, you take in stride, and you're just refusing to have him make you look bad.
Yeah. I was just like laughing at his face.
You're like no. And anybody who knows Trump's like, he's a New Yorker. He's a 90s Democrat. He's not like I had to explain to my gay Uber driver in LA last week. Trump is not trying to take away gay marriage. You can calm down. He's I don't think he is trying to take away every Planned Parenthood in the country. I just don't think that's on his list of priorities.
Yeah. Which personally, I would be fine with it, but
I would support that as well.
Yeah. But it's just not reality. That's not who Trump is.
Yeah, he's got other things. He's got other fish to fry.
Oh, so you want to get them out too? Yeah. No, I mean, I think you're making my argument for me.
All right.
Well,
okay.
I'm just saying.
Was there anything he said in the that you thought was a good point, or that he opened your mind on?
No. Oh, you mean in the whole interview or like the whole episode?
Yeah.
I think most of it was just honestly, like, I don't know if you watched the whole thing. It was pretty boring because a lot of it was about like social security.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't know anything about that stuff, about like social security and like the complexities of that.
Yeah, it's for old people. You don't have to worry about that now.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I really can't even comment on this. So there's some smart people from my side who were debating him on that. So I was glad that like we had those people, but I was just listening and like kind of getting bored.
What was the process like for like the casting for this?
I'm just on their list because I've been on a few other episodes too. So they just send me, one of the casting directors will text me. I'll do a Zoom interview, do a quick application, and then yeah.
Wow. Okay. So how many other people around the circle here, like, would you say agreed with you on most things?
Well, I would say, I think there were 3 other people that I talked to that I know are aligned with me as a more traditional conservative.
Okay.
And then, sorry, I'm like a little bit sick right now, and I'm recovering. So.
That's it. We're canceling the podcast.
So that's why my voice is kind of gone too.
Mine is too.
I was doing a few other shows today, and now it's like I'm losing it.
I should have got some tea. I got
have
off
some
from the plane. Just throw it through the computer. Yeah, I definitely got a cough from this plane. There was a Danish guy next to me who was throwing up on the entire descent. He didn't get it on me. He had impeccable aim. Okay, interesting. Had you seen anybody else from other shows, from other tapings?
Yeah, I mean, I knew a few of them from other episodes I went on. I thought the one guy, I think his name's Eleazar. I thought he did a great job. He was arguing about like Christian morality versus atheist morality, and he did a really good job of that debate. Besides that, I mean, they did a good job on like the economic stuff
Okay.
because they know about that. I don't know about that stuff,
Okay.
but
Cool.
they weren't really debating social issues.
Okay. What did Sam like win on any of the debates or on any of the arguments or?
I think so because I think there were a few times where people might have underestimated how much he knows about like policy
Okay.
and like specifics. They're more going off of vibes. Um, which I think that's kind of like a common thing in these debates because it's like an expert commentator versus like college kids.
I was thinking the same thing, K-Max, that you remind us of like a slightly younger Lauren Southern. Do you get that a lot?
Yes, I've gotten a lot. I'm just gonna go grab some water real quick.
Oh, yes.
I'll be back in a
We'll go to a
second.
commercial break.
Okay.
Doo-doo, doo-doo. I actually think I do have. I will pause her while she gets something to drink. I think I have. No, I didn't upload it. I do have a fun video that Frank just made of when we go to a commercial break. Oh, it's Michael Cavanagh. Hold on, I have a cough. Okay. Michael Cavanagh, thank you for the 5. Hey, Sarah. Well, I'll have to just ask this when she comes back. Okay. Viking, thanks for the 20. Orange boy. You know what? I have time. I'll play the little orange boy sound effect. Uganda is a Christian country. Christian nationalism would allow in African Christians, whereas my white descendants could decide not to be Christian. For a nation, ethnic nationalism has come before religious nationalism. Okay, this is also a very good question that I will mention it again when she comes back. Okay. Sarah's back. She's back. Okay.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
I have one.
I just got a little cough attack, and that was really bad.
Oh my gosh, no, I know the feeling. I have one stupid comment and one smart comment. Which one do you want first?
I'll take the stupid one first.
Okay. Michael Cavanagh, hey Sarah, are you a Christian fundamentalist and believes America in a Christian nation? I believe you are a grifter using Christ as a cop-out. Well, I don't know what the question is there, really.
Did you not just like see the video? Like, was that not just like my whole point? What is this guy even saying? I just said that America has a Christian identity.
He's not the best at paying attention. All right, Viking. Uganda is a Christian country. Christian nationalism would allow in African Christians, whereas my white descendants could decide not to be Christian. For a nation, ethnic nationalism has come before religious nationalism. That's kind of an interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, well, this is why I said it's a European Christian. I think both things, I mean, like historically, nations have always been based on usually a religion and an ethnicity. Usually it's been both. Like you wouldn't usually have like a bunch of religions and one ethnicity either. So, obviously it's not like in America we're gonna like kick out everyone who's not white, and like even, and I would say even like African Americans are like, they're in a way like Native Americans too. They've been here for hundreds of years. They're like deeply embedded in our culture and everything.
They love alcohol. What else does Native Americans are into? Turquoise.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like those things? Okay.
Yeah, but I think both things are important and they're both part of our identity. I don't think it needs to be like one or the other. I don't really get that.
Thanks, K-Max, for the 20. Chrissy, being from New York, do you know exactly what Sarah is saying? You cannot mishmash 90 different religions, languages, and cultures and call it a nation. What are you assimilating to in New York? I mean, New York, it's really more of a like a vibe that you're assimilating to. It's the work. It's the hustle mentality. It is kind of like the girl boss mentality. If you're a woman in New York City, it's kind of like climb the corporate ladder or climb whatever ladder of whatever industry you're in. If I were to stay like living in New York, living in the city, it's like, yeah, high probability that a woman would not really be encouraged so much to try and start a family. It's because your apartment sucks. You don't really want to stay home. So you're not really cultivating like a home mentality. You're just like, oh God, let me stay out. I'm going to stay out of this place as much as possible. Let me get away from my roommates. And then you just get a bunch of cats ultimately.
Yep.
Thanks, Kate.
And you could argue that comes from the Protestant work ethic.
Yes, true. It's Michael again. Are you a con artist or a grifter using Christ?
Yeah, I'm a con artist. How did you figure me out so easily with that one question?
Michael is autistic, but it's okay. It's not, there's anything wrong with that.
There's a lot of Michaels out there on the internet.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Did your parents were you kind of always? Oh, we were talking before. I hit the live button about. I was telling Sarah that like I'm after Easter going to start the process of converting to Catholicism, and I was raised and baptized and confirmed as a Methodist, and I always felt like it was it's a nice thing to do. It's better than certainly not being raised in any religion at all, but in comparison to Catholicism, it just seems kind of watered down. And if you are interested in a deeper relationship with God, I strongly feel like Catholicism is the way to go, and I am just kind of curious about it in general. And then you were telling me like, oh, I was like, am I gonna go to CCD with the other boys and girls? No, I think I just have to, I don't know, I have to meet with a priest or a deacon or something.
I think they're gonna make you do the RCIA because I think you have to if you want to convert as an adult.
And RCIA stands for
Rite of Catholic Initiation for adults.
Am I going to be lowered into a pool or something wearing like a gauzy white outfit?
No, I think that's like the Protestant initiation.
I do love the aesthetics of that.
Yeah, no, I think for Catholics they just do a little sprinkle.
Okay. Darn. Do I get like a nun costume? Yeah, I'll have to figure out my outfit later. Cool. Yeah, it can't be that hard. I appreciated the hoops I had to jump through in order to get married in the Catholic Church. I respect that. Like they gained my respect in that.
Yeah, they take it seriously.
Yeah,
and that's same with the RCIA because you don't want people who don't even know anything about what it means to be Catholic, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm a confirmed Catholic," and then they go around and start sharing stuff that's not true or making the church look bad. You know, and then also like they have to like know what they're getting into before they convert. So that's what the RCIA classes are for too, is like you learn like all the different tenets of the faith. It's like a whole, I mean, I've been going to weekly classes since September. And I'm still not done. Yeah. So it's a long process.
It's March now.
Yeah.
It's like a year-long process, isn't it? Woohoo! So what were you before?
I was just a Protestant. I say like non-denominational because there wasn't ever like a specific denomination I fit into. I went to lots of different churches throughout my life. Yeah, I don't know. And then I started looking into Catholicism and made that choice.
This is an interesting comment from NKFT. Converting to another religion is no different to me than trying to change your sex. If you're stuck in your backwards religion, you don't get to switch teams. I think it's different than changing your genitals.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. That's stupid.
I would equate it to if you want to learn another language, you can learn another language, or I don't know, live in another country, or I don't know.
Yeah. Also, you don't change your religion because you're like, oh, I think I like this religion more. That looks fun. I think people usually change their religion, or like they should do that, is because they're trying to seek the truth. And figure out like, okay, I think this is what's actually true. So I believe it. So I want to convert and be part of that religion.
You were born and raised a Hindu, then go be a Hindu. But that's your parents' decision. Your parents are the ones who decided to raise you.
No one listened to this guy. Everyone should become Catholic.
You're already baptized, so they recognize it. That's cool. Yes, that was a big part of when we got married, they were like, have you been married before? And we were like, no. And they're like, good. And then they were like, have you been baptized? And that was it. Those were the requirements.
Oh.
And then we had to just, I don't know, sign a waiver, go to pre-Cana classes. The food could have been better, but it was okay. I did it. All they had were some stale crackers in the closet, and I ate them all. I'm just kidding. K-Max, thanks for the yellow boy. Chrissy, you had James Lindsay. Oh, we were going to bring this up.
Oh.
You had James Lindsay on your show, but James called Sarah the 2-letter H. James Lindsay called Sarah a hoe on Twitter. Can Chrissy mend fences between the two sides fighting? James attacks only right-wing people now. I haven't talked to James in a while. I like James. I enjoy him. I always have great episodes when he's on. I'm not sure what prompted this. Let me try to bring up the screen.
It's kind of funny. He's been crashing out a little bit. I think that's why.
Crashing out is Gen Z speak for, I guess, losing your cool, right?
Yeah. Over an extended period of time. Yes.
I always thought it meant like, oh, I'm crashing out. I have to fall asleep or something.
No.
Okay, this is a clip from you and who is this? Harrison from InfoWars.
Yeah.
Are white people allowed to have their own interests? Check out Sarah C. Stock on Harrison Smith. And James just says, this explains this hoe. James, what do you mean by this? I should call him. And then Sarah says, can someone do a wellness check on James Lindsay? I was informed that he's a public intellectual who regularly speaks at conservative conferences. We were having a polite disagreement, and I opened my phone to him calling me a hoe on X. Very unhinged. What was this about? Let me see. Oh, this isn't a clip. It's a screenshot.
Yeah, because I wanted like the full context there. But if you look back in my feed right before that, I responded to him, and you can like read the whole thread.
Okay.
No, that's
a
screenshot too.
Elijah. Oh, this is it. Nope, that's okay. All right, Chrissy.
Scroll down a bit more. A bit more.
Like I've never used Twitter. Still a screenshot.
No, a little bit more. Okay, there you go. Wait, no.
Oh, okay. This is where
that was where it started. Yeah.
Okay. He says, hearing replies to liberty first was something like, no, Christ first. Gratefully, no, you can't proclaim Christ without liberty to say it. You can't hear his proclamation without liberty to hear it. You can't receive Christ without liberty to choose. So liberty first. Okay. I understand why there's a disagreement here. Freedom is found in Christ, not the other way around. He's just having like he's going to like a heady, like analytical place on this.
Yeah.
And then he called you a hoe. I want to see the clip of Here it is. Okay. Certainly something you've said on this will explain.
Yeah.
James Lindsay is called
For
you
sure.
a hoe.
It's all gonna make sense.
I don't know. Contend with that resistance of even recognizing white people as having interest or being a race, worthy of continuing existence. How do you deal with that argument?
Yeah, well, it is crazy because white people are basically held collectively responsible for anything bad that any white person has done ever. That's why, we go to school, we're growing up, and all we learn about is slavery and the Holocaust, and we're supposed to feel all this white guilt about all these things that we obviously took no part in, and the majority of white people took no part in at all. And then we're not allowed to take any responsibility for all the amazing things that white people have done, like build
the
all
wheel
of Western civilization,
Yeah.
Right.
like build the country that we're living in right now that everyone wants to come to, like invent basically half the things we use on a daily basis, not more. And we're not allowed to take any responsibility for that. And then I think part of that is that we're not even allowed to feel like white people are a collective group. Like that's like hateful or something to think that, like to say like, oh, like my fellow white people or something, like that's hateful. It doesn't really make any sense. It's like this group status is only able to be attributed to us by other people, but we're not allowed to kind of claim it for ourselves. So I think that's really the way to shift the conversation, to say, look, like
we're already viewed as a group by everyone else, even if you don't realize it. So why not just view yourself as part of that group too?
Right, because we are taught to be ashamed of being white. It's okay for other groups to make fun of us and our various delicacies like potato salad and chicken and so forth. Our lack of spice usage. Maybe some of us can't handle a lot of spice. But yeah, we're like taught to be ashamed of who we are.
I'm sorry, but the reason, like, for instance, in India, the reason they spice their food so much is because they didn't like invent refrigeration, so they needed to cover the taste of rotting meat.
Right.
You know that?
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
like, okay, sorry for inventing a refrigerator, so we don't need to cover the taste of rotting meat.
Yeah.
with
Sorry if you
spices.
like
We
anything
can just enjoy the
cold.
taste of the meat without
When
the
you're
spices.
drinking your cold beverage, you can thank
Yeah.
a white person for that.
That's true.
Right. And it's okay for other people to make fun of us, but to acknowledge that you are a white person, it's just they've done a very good job at making it sound like inherently, I guess, like you think you have some sort of superiority, like you can't have pride without people attaching a superiority
Well,
complex to
even
it.
think about like on college campuses, there's like the Black Student Union and like the Asian Pacific Islanders Club and the Hispanic Latino Club. There's even clubs for illegal immigrants on college campuses, which
The
is
Ice
crazy.
Club. Yeah.
Yeah. But like imagine if there was like a white club. Like that would be on like
That's just the
that would be on
library.
CNN News.
Yeah.
They would be like, this hateful club. And then
White
it could
club,
just
that
be
would
like,
be a crew for sure, like rowing. What else?
golf, maybe? I don't know.
Golf, shuffleboard, curling.
Curling, that's so true. Sailing, maybe.
Sailing for sure,
Maybe some tennis.
Anything equestrian related,
Mhm.
polo, water polo, mostly swimming and diving.
Mhm.
What else do white people like to do? You guys know. We don't need examples. Western civilization. Thanks for the shout.
Awesome.
Wow. To what do we owe the honor? Western civilization in the chat. Okay, wow. Do you get a lot?
Can you imagine though, like if someone started like the White Student Union? That would literally be designated. That would probably be designated as like a terrorist group.
Oh yeah, and they would get attacked by the other groups for sure.
Even if you like just wanted it to be like, oh yeah, like this is the White Student Union, but like anyone can come, and we're just gonna celebrate. Like we're gonna eat some Anglo
Baseball.
food and
Yeah.
listen to some Irish Celtic music and
Hot dogs, hamburgers. Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Baseball. And what else?
We want to celebrate our culture.
We play Twister. I don't know.
Anyone would be canceled just by like trying to be like vaguely associated with that.
For sure. What takes do you have that have got you the most blowback?
Let me think. Like from the right wing or left wing or
both.
I can think of a post I made like a long time ago where I just said something like, I'm pretty sure when the founding fathers said freedom of religion, they didn't mean Hindu temples and mosques.
What do you think they meant?
Well, it was like obviously like everyone was Christian at the time. And also, you know how it literally said like this country's built for free white men of good character. And then they used that line that said good character that literally meant Christian at the time.
Oh,
so
wow.
they didn't allow Muslims in because like the interpretation of that line meant Christian, basically. Like they or like at least not, they didn't want Muslims in or
if you read
whatever.
the fine print, it says no muzzies.
Yeah. So it's
Hancock
like, I just feel like a lot of the stuff in the constitutions, like we have a very modern interpretation of it, but it's like okay, I'm pretty sure the founding fathers weren't like, yeah, we're gonna create like freedom of religion, and this means like I want to walk down the street and see like a synagogue and a mosque and a Hindu temple, and then like a church. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure like everyone who came over was Christian, and they probably, when they founded the country, they probably all thought it was gonna stay Christian too.
Yeah, they're like, you pick your shade of Christianity.
Yeah.
Oh, you can be
Yeah, that was
Catholic
kind of
or
the point,
Protestant.
right? I don't think anyone expected like the multiculturalism that we have today.
Yeah. For sure. We were giving the baby a bath, and I was like overhearing this commercial, and it reminded me of this job I used to have when I worked in corporate media. And there's something that like sort of Hollywood left, or like the showbiz left, people like to do. And they were talking about multiculturalism, and it's like generally it's not just white celebrities, but anybody in Hollywood. They like to give this sense of like multiculturalism is so important, and it's their job to educate the stupid masses, and it's we need to learn about all different cultures. And like at the end of the day, it's like that's nice for like when you're in college, and it seems like really crucial when you're at that stage of life, and you're just like, oh, I'm going to absorb all the information I can. I'm in this is my time to do it in college. I'm exploring. But when you get down to it, like your day in, day out, it's really not that important. Most people just want to do their job and take care of their family. And it's like, no, you don't have to have a live, love, laugh moment and go to India. You don't have to like.
Definitely not as a woman.
No.
I don't think people should be traveling to India as a woman, especially alone.
Oh gosh, no. And it's just like, I don't know. Maybe it's just like growing up, like all the stuff that like liberal showbiz people, or like liberal, like academics, that make it sound like it's so important. It's like, okay. And then you hit like your 30s, and you're like, oh, none of that shit is important really. Unless you want to be like a professional academic for your whole life. Caught looking. Sarah, where did you get that pic of St. Joseph?
Oh, that's just my boyfriend's office area, so that's not mine.
I think so that's my boyfriend. Like,
no, I'm not one of the Jesus is my boyfriend Christian.
He's taken.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's Elijah in the chat. Thank you for the red boy.
Nice.
Hail Chrissy, hail Sarah, hail our people, hail Chrissy's baby. Oh, W Chrissie Mayr Podcast. Auslander Rouse, Return. Ausland.
I don't really know. Like, what does the V mean in there? Like,
I think it's an old timey way of writing return. They used to use V's for use, right, Elijah? Tell me if I'm wrong. Yeah, Elijah's the best. We were just singing your praises earlier. She has a boyfriend, guys. Uh-oh. Is this true?
Can't confirm or deny.
Oh. Well, don't close those DMs just yet. Okay. All I know is Rouse means get out. Okay. Very cool. Crispy. This country was built on the teachings of Jesus, but was created as a form of government from the Magna Carta and Greek Republic structure. Okay. I thought I was going to understand that more, but I don't. People don't talk about India's problems, one of which is that women in India are treated badly and violence against women is widespread. True.
Yeah, I think that's like that kind of barely scratches the surface of India's problems.
They stink.
It gets a lot worse than that.
I want to pull up this article that you wrote for Slightly Offensive. It's very interesting because people talk a lot about like, okay, Trump's in office, but it seems like the conservatives are taking a kind of backseat to populism at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Is this winning? 5 issues conservatives conceded to win the culture war. Have we won the culture war?
I think in a way, I think we lost, because if you look at this article, it's like we're hardly even debating about these issues anymore. We just lost them to the left.
Mm,
It's like we pretty much only talked about like the transgender issue.
true. Yeah, it feels like it was like an arm wrestle of abortion for a while, and like we've just
Yeah.
been like, all right, fine. If you really want to, I guess go ahead and get an abortion. If we won't stop you, like
Yeah.
we want you to see the light and do what's best for you and your soul, but I can't make you not get an abortion. Okay. So let's start with abortion. Oh my God. About 50 days before the election, Melania Trump made headlines for coming out supporting abortion's rights in her memoir. Yeah, it just seems like, I don't know. Trump didn't really talk much about abortion. He's way stronger on, men not being in women's sports.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing he'll come out right and say. But I guess his people probably told him like, yeah, like let's not make abortion a thing this round.
Yeah, which is like so lame. And then Melania came out as pro-choice, which like obviously he signed off on that. That's his wife.
Yeah, and then Barron's like, but wait, you wouldn't have all 8 foot of me if you got an abortion.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, is this her?
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth, individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
Oh, her book.
Yeah.
Okay.
All that just for a book deal. Just like disgusting.
Do you think Trump lost a lot of votes from the Christian conservatives?
I don't know. I actually do know people who said they weren't going to vote for him because of that issue.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard to know, just like from my own anecdotal experiences, if that's reflective of like the entire country,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure.
Right. Here's Trump tweeted this last August. My administration will be great for women and their reproductive rights.
Right? Like, what is this like using like reproductive rights?
It's not. It's
as
not
a euphemism for murdering a child. Like, that's just like a leftist tactic. And then we have like, this is supposed to be our right wing. Like, even like some people think he's like far right or something. This is our guy, and he's just using these leftist terminologies.
Yeah, it's really sad. Maybe he just figured like it's not worth the fight. It's not worth getting into.
Yeah, but like obviously that has been his strategy, is like just staying out of it. But it's like, okay, you've just been staying out of it, so why do you have to go and like counter signal the pro-life movement now?
Right. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting how they've substituted like abortion for choice and rights. It's like, yeah, what about the little beans' rights to live? Okay, number 2, homosexuality. I mean, this is even a bigger one. This is a bigger one than abortion. Support for same-sex marriage has been on decline lately. The support for young Americans has dropped by 8% since 2018. Despite this, conservative movement has, as a whole, has all but dropped the issue, allowing the traditional definition of marriage to be perverted. True, because you see this, you still, see certain churches rolling out the rainbow flag.
Yeah.
And it just seems like that's a big one.
Yeah, and like the conservative movement used to be fighting against legalizing gay marriage because they knew that does change the definition of like what a family is, and like that's going to lead to other problems as well. And like that's the whole reason why we have, all these violations of Christians' rights and all these. We have, gay people adopting kids and stuff, and now they don't have a mom or a dad. Like, it's just like all these other problems.
Sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I think, using a surrogate is, it's just pretty horrible all around. Like, how could that mom not be attached? I can't imagine, like, having just given birth myself, like, going through, like, 9-10 months or whatever. plus all the prep you have to do before you get pregnant. People are getting their vitamins right, getting in shape, whatever they're doing, and the attachment you form to that baby as it grows inside you, and then you just have to give birth, which is a traumatic but very spiritual process. And then you just have to be like, okay.
And
I'm
it's
just gonna hand
traumatic
this
for the
off.
baby as well, because
Oh, yeah.
the baby's just being ripped apart from their mom. And they're
Ugh.
never going to see them again. And then now they're being raised by two men that they're not, at least one of them they're not related to at all.
Right. And like when our baby was born, like he didn't go to the NICU, but he was he was on the other side of the room for a while because they were like helping to get the water out of his lungs. And like my husband went over to him and like talked to him while he was, he's like freaking out. He was just born. He's trying to like get oxygen. And he he stuck his little hand in and he like grabbed his little hand, grabbed his finger. And it's like, yeah, because he knows your voice. He's talking to him, while he was in the womb for like months and months and months. And with surrogates, they just, they get ripped from their moms, which they have a connection to. They know it's the innate, like they kind of like crawl up to you when they're born, and it's just like it's miraculous. And so like rob a child of that is so cruel. And robbing the mother of that too. But she probably just gets convinced like, well, I just need the money. It's just horrible.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like the woman in the situation is being exploited too, because I feel like you'd have to be at like a low place in life to agree to do that.
Yeah. It's very sad. But yeah, I agree. I think I mean, if they're not gonna address abortion, they're definitely not gonna address homosexuality.
Yeah.
That's the bigger one. Oh, and here is a clip of Dave Rubin recounting his decision to purchase 2 children with his husband, and name one after Jordan Peterson, which he says made Peterson cry. What?
David, my husband, who he's a little younger than me. He grew up in a time where he just thought he was going to get married. It wasn't a thing. I'm a child of the 80s. It was gay marriage and whatever else, and I struggled with all that. And we've done that on camera before, so I don't think we have to rehash that too much. But I grew up in a time not thinking I would get married. I never really thought of anything to the future, really, and I kind of just put everything towards my career. And now I've got David, who I'm FaceTiming with every night, whatever country in, telling me he wants kids. And I've got you on stage telling 10,000 people every night why they should have kids. And finally I thought, man, if I don't do this, there's really something wrong with me. I'm with the person I'm supposed to be with. I'm touring with someone that I think has offered more to the world in terms of how do we do this right than anyone that I could possibly imagine. And I get the privilege of being part of that. If I can't do this, then this thing's really on me. So we've got 2 2-year-olds now, and Justin's middle name is Jordan, which one of the great joys of my life was calling you up that day and asking you if we could do it. And we got the Jordan Peterson tears, which, we've gotten every now and again.
Wait a second. He had to ask Jordan Peterson if he could give his kid the middle name of Jordan?
Yeah, so he named him after Jordan Peterson. Isn't that weird? I think that's weird.
Yeah, you don't have a family member or Jordan's a pretty common name. I wonder if there's a family member named Jordan. And he's like, we'll just say it's after Jordan Peterson because he
maybe, but I don't know.
some clout with him.
Yeah, and that's just like sad because he's basically saying like, oh, I felt this social pressure to have kids. And it's like, well, it's not
right,
really
not the longing
it's not really
that
about
a woman
you though.
has, like not like the longing that a woman has to become a mother, and not like
our
love making is literally creating a life.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you felt a social pressure to have a family, which I mean, it's a good thing that social pressures like that exist, but it's like, well, not like that. Like the social, like
he wants to have his cake and eat it
fulfill
too.
whatever needs. That's not as important as what your kid needs.
Right.
And your child deserves a mother and a father because they need that balance in the home. You can't just have like 2 dads in the home. Like you need like the good cop, bad cop scenario. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who's going to clean? Who's going to cook?
Yeah. Who's going to nurse those kids will never get to breastfeed off their mom.
So
it's sad.
And that's something that can calm. I mean, God, that fixes so many ailments. Obviously,
Yeah.
hunger, teething, sadness, anything. Like nursing is kind of just like a cure-all sometimes. And it's part of how you bond to your child. Let's say so. We have number 3, feminism. And this also is a really big one. This is just, I think this is as big as homosexuality. It's just so ingrained in now multiple generations of women who have grown up, and feminism is weaved into kind of the fabric of who they are. Another group that has moved over to the right side of the aisle in reaction to gender ideology was the TERFs. We love TERFs. Trans exclusionary radical feminists. J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter book series, has been applauded by conservatives for standing up for female-only spaces. However, her opposition to transgenderism is rooted in Marx's resistance to the patriarchy and not the belief that men and women are ontologically different and should therefore have different roles in society. Yeah, that's a really good point. It's like she understands part of it.
Like, she's right. The transgenderism is wrong, but I don't agree with like how she got to that point.
Yeah. She got there in like a liberal way. Okay, every Republican congresswoman, often proponents of the girl boss lifestyle, with Nancy Mace as a key example. Mace regularly boasts about how she proved herself as a woman by invading male spaces and playing male roles, all while complaining about men and women's spaces. Oh, interesting. I didn't know this about her. So she has like a military background.
Yeah, so she's trying to be like, oh, girl boss. I was the only girl in this whole male military academy. It's just like, okay, so did they have to like build like a separate bathroom for you then or something? Like a separate girl locker room? You know what I mean? It's like,
true.
so
She's in there.
you kind of invaded a male space.
Is Nancy Mace like married with kids now? Is she?
I don't know. I want to say she's single and childless, but I don't want to say that for sure because I could be wrong.
Someone in the chat, find out. Okay. And Matt Walsh correctly pointed out that radical gender ideology wouldn't have been made possible without the feminism that TERFs promote. Interesting. Radical gender ideology would have been possible. Yeah, it's like you're so supportive that you actually go backwards. Both movements deny the inherent differences between men and women, with the natural conclusion being that there is no difference. And you know what? You don't notice this as drastically as when you have a baby and you're like, okay, yeah, a baby really does need both to even out.
Yeah, then you're like, well, this is what I was made for. This is like, only I would be capable of doing this.
It's the only job that you can have no experience and like absolutely nail without any job training. Another big one, pornography. Some may remember when back in 2023, PragerU founder Dennis Prager downplayed the sinful nature and negative societal effects of pornography, claiming men want variety. He really said this, and that if viewing pornography is a substitute for adultery, it's not awful. Oh, boy.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, if you're married and you're watching that is just like a form of adultery.
It is.
Like, come on, you're looking at other women naked.
It is, but
that's not a substitute for adultery. That just is.
It's become so common.
You use the word evil of animated child pornography because I certainly would.
No, I would use evil only with behavior. That's where we might differ. Forgetting the sex issue. You can't
really
be evil.
Only with behavior. What about if you're viewing CP?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a behavior. Like viewing something is also a behavior.
Interesting.
You didn't do evil if you thought evil. You did
if
evil
I'm
if you
masturbating
committed.
to animated pictures of pornography, I'm not doing something evil.
That's correct.
Yeah, I think that's despicable. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, of course.
He's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
That's the point he makes. Yeah. Oh gosh, interesting. The conservative dad's ultra right beer calendar. I have that. I have that in the next room. Yeah, they sent me a bunch of calendars and a ton of beer that I still have. Many of them wives, mothers. Because I interviewed the guy in charge of this. I've already forgotten his name. Sorry.
I don't remember either.
Anti-trans activist Riley Gaines post. Yep. Ashley St. Clair was did 2 months in this calendar, if you guys will remember. Well, St. Clair says she's not a conservative. Oh, we know that now. Oh my gosh. Yeah, really good point. Yeah, what's your I bet I know your feeling on the conservative dad calendar, that it kind of inspires lusting after another.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, why are you marketing this as conservative? That's weird.
Right.
Why don't you just say slutty calendar?
Yeah, fun slutty calendar, non-liberal. Row House, thank you for the yellow boy. Does Sarah have another pundit she would like to debate religion or immigration with? What about Ben Shapiro? Sarah's view in general of the Daily Wire crew.
I mean, yeah, I debate them. I don't know if they're down to debate me, but I debate them. I like Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh. I like they have a lot of good takes on stuff. Ben Shapiro, Andrew Klavan, I definitely agree with them less on things now, I would say, than I used to. I used to like a few years ago, I used to be like a Ben Shapiro fan.
I was too. I used to listen to more of him, and I don't know. We'll have less time in general now, but yeah, Matt's kind of funny. I appreciated his What Is a Woman movie. That was fun. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't really watch any of them regularly, really. I like Candace Owens. I'll watch her stuff.
Okay, let's see. Similar sentiments were expressed from the lib right when Congresswoman Anna Polioluna posted a tiny MAGA bathing suit. Oh gosh, that's right.
Do you remember that?
I remember when conservatives called this behavior unprofessional. Many female influencers, such as Isabella DeLuca, tried to express support for Luna.
I dropped a lot of names in this. I called them out all out.
Oh no, Isabella is very, very much just looking for a husband. I don't think she's trying to be conservative or anything. She's just she's out.
Well, I don't think that's like a good way to find a husband.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think you're gonna find like a good husband doing that kind of thing. I think she needs to try a different strategy.
And it's she's she's chumming for simps is what she's doing.
Yeah.
And hopefully maybe trying to get a man in the process. Yep. Express support. Here, look at me in a swimsuit.
Mm-hmm.
It should be no surprise that
no, they're like, I stand in solidarity with naked Congresswoman.
Yeah.
I'm also naked. I'm also a naked conservative woman.
Look how supportive and hot I am.
Supportive and hot.
Yep, it's MAGA as long as they're wearing a red hat. Good point. Transgenderism, another. Well, this one is not as big as abortion, feminism, and homosexuality. I think we took a chunk out of transgenderism with Trump.
Well, this one, it's like, okay, kind of my point with this is like we made this our main social issue, but I just felt like we didn't go hard enough on it because for some reason we're still propping up like trans conservatives when it's like, okay, how that's not really a thing. You know what I mean? Like,
so you don't think there's a place for Blair White anywhere?
I mean, like, she can vote Republican. I don't have a problem with that, but it's like I don't think she should be the face of the movement. Or he should be the face of the movement because
that's how good she can pass. I think she can.
No, but it's confusing. I shouldn't have to deal with this this gender confusion. You know? Yeah, I don't think he should be like a face of the movement because it's like, well, you're kind of contributing to promoting the ideology just by like, I don't want to say like existence, but by your lifestyle choice and by us propping up someone who lives that lifestyle, we're kind of de facto promoting transgenderism.
So, right. If you are a Christian conservative household and you have a son who is maybe a little bit also confused, you're saying they would look up to Blair White and be like, well, look, I can do it. I can be trans.
Yeah, it kind of gives them leeway. And it's like, listen, if I had like a son who for some reason, I mean, I feel like I would just like never raise my kids this way, so it wouldn't happen. But who knows? Like if I had a child and then they wanted to like be transgender or something, you know, I'm not gonna like disown my child. But it's like different if it's like a political movement, because like optics really matter in a political movement. Like it matters like who is like the face of your movement, you know what I mean? And you don't want it to be people with like bad lifestyles because you're promoting that to conservatives and trying to say like, oh, you can be a like you this is like a conservative thing. It's like, well, we kind of just like lost what it means to be conservative. Same thing as like, oh, I'm a conservative porn star. You know, it's like the same thing.
Shout out to Brandy Love. No, yeah, we used to be friendly. She stopped talking to me after I had that Alex Stein and Melanie Mack on. Oh, it's all right. But yeah, I understand your point. But you know, I think with Blair, it's like there is a place for Blair, but I understand what you're saying. Not a role model for Christian conservatism, but I also don't think Blair, that's what Blair is trying to be. I think
well, it's like, yeah, and I don't know Blair, don't have anything against him like personally or anything like that. It's just I don't want to see other conservatives trying to pretend like you can live a conservative lifestyle and also be transgender. I just disagree with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Here's Bryson Gray. Satan versus Lucifer.
Yeah, it's like, come on, we have this many people identifying as like trans conservative.
Bryson is funny. Okay. And yeah, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, good article. I think the hardest one, let's see. Hardest one to unravel, I think, is going to be, well, I think abortion and feminism are kind of linked. That you can't address the abortion issue without addressing feminism, without kind of like unraveling feminism.
Yeah, I would say feminism kind of is at the root of
all of it, and
like all of them, yeah,
and transgenderism too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's also been around the longest too.
It's been around the longest. If you can kind of slowly dissolve the brainwashing that feminism has done, like women will be like, oh my God, it's not wrong to want a family. It's not wrong to want to have a kid. Like it's, I shouldn't have to feel like I have to be a girl boss who can do it all. And
and realizing that men and women are different, and that's not just like that women are smaller and can have babies, but also that like our brains literally think differently.
Yeah.
Like our brains are just wired differently, and our emotions are different, and our hormones are different, and yeah, we're just like different beings. So we have different roles in society, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, their strengths. Deranged lunatic Chrissy, Sarah would make a great guest for Simpcast. Yes, she would.
What's that?
Sarah, I have I know I'm like talking about, oh, no, Sims, don't bait the Sims, but I have a show on Sundays called Simpcast. It's a panel show with like different gals every week, and we're just talking about like culture and news stories. It's fun.
Nice.
It's a hoot. Viking Sarah, what are your views on race mixing? Oh,
I don't think it's like from a Christian perspective, I don't think it's like immoral or anything. Just like personally, I wouldn't want to marry someone from a different race because I feel like it can give kids like some like identity problems when they have like when it's like a kid's like biracial. I feel like I just like know people have like identity problems from that. They don't really feel like they fit in on either side. And then also like, I don't know, I wouldn't want to be like the odd one out at like my spouse's family gathering. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what am I going to go to like a Chinese family gathering and I'm like the only white person there?
Yeah. And I don't want to have to learn to do double Dutch. I don't want to have to learn to manicure. No.
Learn how to paint nails or whatever.
Learn how to paint nails.
Yeah. And same, I wouldn't want my spouse to feel like weird or feel like the odd one out with my extended family.
What is this
So
coleslaw? Just eat it. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I found this very funny clip of this guy. Oh my god, I wonder if you've seen this. Let me do. What did I do with this clip? What did I do with this clip? It's really funny. Shoot, anti-DEI. Hold on, this is gonna be worth it. Hold. Oh, okay. This was a guy I saw on Twitter, and I thought this will be funny to play. Okay, advertise your account with one video. Whoops! Oh no, it's gone. Okay, here we go.
Apparently love to shoot other black people. White people, wiggers, try and act black. They look silly.
You've ins in the KKK or what?
Yeah, I know them well. I practice white flight.
If she were black, would you guys be together?
Oh, no.
So would you prefer there be no black people?
I don't want to be around them. One's love for diversity usually increases with their distance from it.
If you had a grandchild that was black, you would love him?
I wouldn't have a grandchild that was black.
What are your thoughts on Pride Month?
A mental illness month, you say? I observed that mental illness was contagious. If you're around it enough, you then begin to ignore it, then accept, and then embrace and become part of it.
You had a kid who was 5 years old and they said, Daddy, I'm a guy, but I think I'm a girl. What would you say?
I think we would start working on correcting that issue. I don't want an insane child.
What are your thoughts on the people that did?
I didn't make no mistake. I didn't force it on anyone, and I didn't denigrate them for refusing to take the vax. So I ain't forgiving nothing. How about y'all all commit suicide and make my day right?
Wow.
I'm afraid to say something. You don't have freedom of speech. I'll gain my freedom by having nothing left to lose.
Your thoughts on gay people?
You don't see this in nature unless there's some sort of chemical contaminant. Do you think
That's what my dad would
Chinese
say.
or the Russians fear our soldiers? Forget G.I. Jane. We got G.I.
If you were president of the United States, how would this country look today?
Expected to be assassinated before my acceptance speech. Quickest president you've ever seen.
That guy's funny.
I love that.
Yeah, like what he said about gay people. It wouldn't happen in nature unless there's a chemical imbalance. It's like, oh my god, that's exactly what my dad.
It's
would
giving
say.
Alex Jones, the frogs. The
Yes.
chemicals in the water, turning the frogs gay.
Yes. Matthew Hammond, have you discussed Mark Rober lying about Tesla? No, I have not heard about this.
I feel like I should know who that is, but I don't. Do you know who that is?
Oh. Okay. I don't know who that is, Matthew. I will look him up later. Viking. By the way, Michael Gavin Ali is literally Jewish. Oh, this is my beloved chatter. Last time, Sarah, do you use Christ for profit like other Christian fundamentalists who con and corrupt the religion for their own personal interests? Okay, he sounds like he's been burned.
Oh my gosh, Michael, how did you figure me out so easily? I feel like I've been exposed now from that one super chat, or I don't know if you call them super chats here, but
oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. I think that's it for the supas. Okay, cool. Sarah, what do people misunderstand about you and your opinions?
I feel like a lot of people are like, how do I say this? People keep on trying to say that I like came out of nowhere, and I don't know why. Like, I think people are just like skeptical of me going viral. And then I think they're just like skeptical of anyone who goes viral, and then they're like, "Oh, you're like funded by like you're like a CIA agent." Or,
Oh,
like,
you're an
you know what I mean? Like everyone
Yeah.
has all these like weird conspiracies about me, and it's
well,
like
because we've been burned by Hawk.
I know.
We've been burned. Gosh, who else? I mean, I had her on the show. She was cooking in her kitchen, and Lily Gaddis. Yeah. I think she said the N-word. Big deal. She's still doing her thing. Sweet girl. Yeah. So people are wary of anybody who's cute. Unfortunately, if you're a cute girl who goes viral, people are going to be wary of you. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, and it's also like I have been around for a while. Like I've been, I had some followers on Twitter before that video went viral already, just from like sharing my thoughts about politics and stuff and culture. And then like now my clip blew up. So now every time I tweet, people are like, "Oh, you're still trying to stay relevant."
How dare you continue?
I'm pretty sure like I don't know, like I was like talking before that went viral. Also, that's not even the first Jubilee episode I went on. I went on a few others before that.
Was that the most viral moment you've had?
Yeah, from Jubilee, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Okay, cool. What were some of the other episodes you were on?
I went on one. It was like 30 Trump supporters versus 30 Kamala supporters, and then
a fight to the death.
Yeah, and then there's another one. It was like 20 Trump supporters versus 1 Kamala, and it was that guy Dean Withers. If you know.
Okay.
Who that is. Yeah.
Okay. See, she's been around. Okay.
I've been around.
Guys. Get with it.
I'm not a plant.
No. Time will tell.
Yeah. But I mean I get it though, because like it makes sense why people are skeptical.
Yeah, they're like a slow boil. They get nervous when somebody just shoots up right away.
Yeah.
Sarah, where can people find you? What is coming up for you? What are you working on? What are your goals for the rest of this year?
Well, obviously my Twitter's down there. That's where I'm most active. But I have an Instagram too, if people want to follow me there. Trying to post on there a lot now too. It's called sarah.stock.politics. And then if you go on slightlyoffensive.com, I'll be doing more written articles there. And I'm hoping to do more kind of on the ground journalism. Like we might be making some mini docs this summer and everything too, especially talking about like mass immigration issues and things like that, bringing attention to some important, like you said, white issues.
Yes, I would
like the name of the show.
Yeah, white issues. That's great.
Yeah. So definitely more video content will be on the way. I might start my own YouTube channel or something just so I can like put it all in one spot.
Yes, definitely do that.
Yeah. So it's kind of all up in the air right now, but yeah.
Awesome. Everybody follow Sarah on Twitter at Sarah with an HC stock. Do you say a lot like anytime there's a photo of you, do you say it's a stock photo?
Yeah, a lot of people like to say that. People were calling me Sarah Founding Stock.
Why? Founding stock.
Like the founding stock of America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, there's many puns, people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on, Sarah.
Yeah.
Everyone follow. And when you get your YouTube page up and running, we'll have you back and we'll promote that.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. Sorry, I've been like, I'm a little sick, so my voice is kind of leaving me, and I've been coughing.
Go have some tea and a lozenge. Thank you to the chat for your comments and questions. Most of you were well behaved with great comments and questions.
Yeah, not Michael.
Not Michael. No. We love you, Michael, sort of. Okay. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all next time.